Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing a group of 9 women, 9 Korean women, on my shirt. I'm wearing a twice pullover. Anyway, um, I just woke up, but not really. So, the only thing not the only thing, but in the news right now, Russia invaded Ukraine, and I'm kind of glad because it's the first time I don't have to see news about COVID. Because, come on, fantasy pandemic hasn't been a pandemic in over a year and a half, but that's why we keep quoting medical information from Israel and Britain because America won't release you know the real data because they've been pushing this narrative anyway. Um, the president, the House plant that's in office, is going to address the nation later today. Okay. I don't care. I don't care what happens in Ukraine. I don't care what happens in Europe in general. I care about our border right now. Over 2 million people have crossed our border, and most of those people have been spread across America and placed in different cities. And all the cities have one thing in common: they're in swing states. And that's one of the biggest reasons why the Democrats don't want voter ID to be enforced. Because most of those people vote Democrat. Um, but anyway, when Joe Biden speaks today, he's gonna mumble a lot. Um, he'll probably talk about a different country that's not even involved in this. He'll blame Trump for a few things that's going on. Um, he has a very low approval rating. I believe it was 39% the last time I heard. Presidents' approval ratings go up if they go to war. Now, I don't, I just don't see how he can make an excuse to justify sending American troops over there, though, because it would look even worse because he'll secure Ukraine's border but won't secure America's border. So, I'm no foreign policy expert. In fact, the only thing I'm an expert in is actually K-pop, and I'm also an expert on on music. Like how to write music. So I'm probably completely wrong, but anyway, I just don't see how he could, even though he wants to, because it's a fact that every president that's gone to war, their approval rating has gone up because there's some Americans who are like, well, we gotta back the president. We're at war, but I just don't see how America joining would benefit him because well, because there's this thing called nukes, and you got two countries, America and Russia, have the two biggest nuclear arsenals. And, and it only takes like both countries have enough nukes to wipe either one off the face of the planet. But the problem is, China backs Russia, So if America does anything, you're gonna have Russia and China, and America can't win a war against Russia anyway. So Biden's gonna talk all tough, well, mumble all tough, and most likely will talk about the sanctions he's gonna do. But the problem with the sanctions, um, Europe gets a lot. Like in Europe, the most expensive thing in Europe is actually energy. So like a person's like electric bill or gas bill will be like their biggest bill. Like in America, our biggest bills are rent and food. In Europe, it's like electricity, heat. That's why the natural gas that people get from Russia is very important over there in Europe. But anyway, that's probably boring to a lot of you. So I'll just move on because I really don't care about Ukraine, don't care about Russia, and I don't care about the president we have. So I just live in my own world. Anyway, hopefully, hopefully when he talks today, like the Alzheimer's will kick in really hardcore, and like he won't even know where he is, and then he'll kind of wake up and think we're in the Korean War. Oh my God. This also might raise awareness where because like, he's obviously not mentally fit to be president because come on, you've heard him talk, right? Jesus Christ. I mean, that's just embarrassing. And what's even worse is his vice president is like even worse than him, that people don't want to kick him out. But I guess that's why vice presidents are kind of laughable because it's like the president doesn't want to have someone who's that's better than him. But I digress. Yeah, so like you remember I mean if you listen to this show, I was talking about how I couldn't wait to play Cyberpunk 2077 so I can make a tranny. Well, as you know, Cyberpunk 2077, that video game was horrible because they released it in Finnish. Because that's what video game companies do these days. They just release a game and then they'll finish it like a year later because, they can update it. But anyway, so Cyberpunk 2077 is finally playable. So I downloaded it and started playing it. And yes, I did make a Thai lady boy as my character. So it's basically just like, a really hot Asian chick with a penis. That's the closest I'm ever going to be when it comes to LGBT QP to the double X ABC squared representation. So I just want people in that community to know that I'm on your side. Idiots. Anyway, the only thing I've been doing other than playing a Thai lady boy in the digital world is I've been sleeping a lot. Um, I don't know why. Maybe because I'm getting old. But it's been very enjoyable. But well, that's because like I don't have a job though. But the reason why I don't have a job is because I don't want to go back to work. I'm being serious. Wait, and let me finish the sentence. I don't want to go back to work until all this you have to wear mask things over. I don't like the reason why working at Target was okay because like I didn't wear like you're supposed to wear a mask, but like I had mine down the whole time, and then like every like like once an hour I pull it back up. So like I wasn't always so it was like 5% of the time they're like, oh, he's wearing a mask. Anyway, I can't go back to work until like it's like a statewide thing where it's like the mask mandate's over. Because it's like it's I'm just done with going against logic. I can only pretend to stand these idiots, and it's like every time I see someone wearing a mask, in my mind I'm calling them a moron, an idiot, a sheep, and then it's like, I have to wear one when I go into the grocery store because I have to. Well, I don't have to, but I accompany my mother to the store, and so like she goes in, but like you can't go into the store unless you're wearing masks. So that's the only time I'm like, oh, gotta wear masks, and like when I'm in the store the whole time, I'm just thinking, God, you guys are idiots. These masks don't work right. The virus is 1,000 times smaller than the holes in your mask. I mean, you can look that up. I'm not, once again, everything I say medically, medical, what, God damn it, it's a word that has more than two syllables. You know, my day's ruined because I had to say that word. Ruined. But no one, I don't. Actually, technically, I don't wear masks. I wear I guess like a bandana. So it's like I'm not really. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. It's visual theater. Visual theater. You know, you gotta wear a mask to go into a restaurant, but then when you sit down, you take your mask off to eat. Then what's the point? You know, it's it's because people who have the ability to enforce a law or a rule or whatever just do it to do it, so they can say, "Oh yeah, I'm the one that put that in the works. Yeah, I'm the one that made that rule. I'm the one that made that law." Who cares? You know, people with power just do stuff because they have power. Look at Justin Trudeau right now. He invoked the Emergencies Act in Canada and he revoked it yesterday because, well, it looks bad. There's two parties in Canada, and both parties were calling him out, going, "This is a complete overreach of government power." He was looking pretty bad. He was calling the peaceful protesters Nazis, racist, when they're not. I mean, I've seen the footage of the protesters, and what the media says and the actual footage don't match. They have kids in like bouncy castles and playing with giant Legos, and the adults, because they have kids, the adults are dancing, holding up signs, and yelling freedom. There's nothing violent about that, but the media in Canada is saying that it's violent. Trudeau is saying that it's violent. I mean, you literally can't trust the media. They are saying the complete opposite with what they're showing. So I guess he probably realized, well, I guess the people aren't buying these lies. It just like common sense would say people want freedom. But if you're a dictator at heart, you don't care what the people say. Like the past couple of years that has shown that the government doesn't care what the people think. So all these people have to go. And I'm shocked that a lot of these people, not gonna name names, but you know who I'm talking about. I'm surprised these people haven't been like ousted in any way, like like by the government, because like half the government. The problem with government is like there's usually more than one party, so usually a majority of the opposing party wants something else, but they can't kick out the leader. But it seems like in situations like this, you have both parties are like, yeah, you got to stop. But anyway, but I'm really surprised that there hasn't been like some like military coup or some like someone throws a pie in a leader's face, a explosive pie. But I don't know. I guess we live in a world where some people like daddy government because even with this trucker freedom rally or whatever, I'm surprised it wasn't more people. Like I thought it would be like everyone who owns a car too. Like I just thought it'd be like endless amount of people, like not just the truckers, but if Trudeau doesn't just drop everything, it shows you what kind of person he is. Well, he's already shown what kind of person he is, but like, is he a smart person? If he's a smart person, he'll just drop everything because his legacy is going to be the tyrant. All these people, a lot of people have ended up on the wrong side of history. But the only problem is history keeps repeating itself, so I don't think it matters. There's going to be another Trudeau. There's going to be another Biden. You know, because people, well, because the people who vote are stupid. That's except Canada. You can't actually vote for the prime minister in Canada. You vote for a party, and then the party elects a prime minister. That's how it works in Canada. So the people didn't actually vote for him; they voted for the party. But I'm assuming this is me making an assumption. I'm assuming when you vote for a party in Canada, you have a general idea of who they're going to pick because the that's I'm assuming that's how they do it because you just can't vote for the party and like they pick me. I'm assuming the party gives you a general idea of like who they're going to be or who they're going to choose as the prime minister. Now this is me using logic, and logic doesn't really work in this world. Oh God. And there's all this chaos going on in the world, and the only thing I've been doing the past 2 days is looking up pictures of Red Velvet. That's a K-pop group for those of you who don't know. Um, yeah, like during times like this, the only thing I really focus on is girls with nice bodies. So I've I've just been looking at pictures of Red Velvet. I'm not gonna single out any member, just all the members are lovely young ladies. I love the way they dress, so they're visually stimulating. Yeah, so I've just been collecting pictures. Well, collecting's a word that sounds like sounds like I'm up to something. Like like there's someone in my basement, but no, no, I did not mean it in that way. I meant it in a non-stalker. I don't need a restraining order type of way. You know, kind of like how you collect stamps. I collect memories of beautiful Korean women. Because all this tyranny and bullshit that's going on in the world right now, it'll pass. You know. So I might as well just focus on hot chicks. And Red Velvet has five very good looking women. And there's literally, and I say millions, but there's several 100,000 pictures of these women on the internet. So I think I've been, I lose track of time. I want to say for the past like 3 days, I've really just been focusing on Red Velvet. And I recommend watching their live performances. Like just go on YouTube, type up Red Velvet, live performances. I just want to say you're gonna really enjoy the way they dance. Just trust me. Anyway, I've said enough ramblings. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.